guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming and breaking the ice with us. It's so exciting to finally meet you guys.
Likewise.
Orange juice. Super fresh. All right, so let's start from the beginning. How did you two meet, and at what stage did Good Boys come about?
Whoa. Well, we actually met years ago.
Yeah.
And we kind of knew of each other. He was actually really close with my oldest brother. So we knew of each other for a long, long time. But I think in like the last 4 years, I think we really kind of like got to know each other, and then that led to kind of starting to write music together and stuff. And
We had the craziest thing where I was on holiday with my brother and he
Yeah.
was on holiday with his brother,
yeah.
both in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like half planned, but not really planned. It just kind of worked out. And then we kind of,
And then we were like, why don't we hang out more?
Yeah,
It
literally.
was that kind of,
It's like,
we've
that's
already known
cool.
each other. I
Yeah.
can stand you. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So that's how-
So Piece of Your Heart seems to have been kind of like a beautiful accident in a way. That's kind of what I term it as, just from the research that I've done. And obviously there's this spoken part that wasn't meant to be in the song. And I read that there was a difference of opinion as to whether or not they should include that in the song or not.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that whole situation, and why do you think the song has done as well as it has?
It's the craziest story. So the Medusa lads are all Italian.
Yeah.
And two of them at the time couldn't speak English really at all. Only one of them could, and even that was kind of sparse. So I was often, when you're recording songs, as you guys know, like you have a vocal booth and then like a engineer's room. So I was in a totally separate room recording this idea, and we had like a chorus of lyrics, and Simon, one of the guys, was basically saying, I can't understand what it means in English. And so and he's saying it and the track's still running, and I'm like, oh well, what if it's, and then just sung the chorus with no lyrics, like da da da, like that. And literally they like reacted in the other way, oh my god, in Italian. But I had no idea what was going on.
It just sounded so good.
And then they played it back with and they kept the what sorry, I was like, well, this could work. This
Yeah.
could, it could be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally in the final track, that what sorry just quickly, and the whole of the da 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 is all the original take. We didn't change it. We didn't even re-record it.
Super authentic then,
Yeah,
you know what I
literally.
mean? That's amazing.
Yeah, and then we kind of played it. So we have the same management as Medusa, and we were playing it with them, and there was this whole discussion like, is it cheesy to leave it in, or is it like, a moment in time that people are going to latch
I
onto?
think the whole thing of leaving it in was quite a risk, because
Oh,
it could
yeah.
without, like, it's easy to say that it wasn't a risk now on this side of the kind
Yeah.
of like success.
But it could have gone either
before,
way,
you
right?
just don't know whether people are just going to go.
That's
so weird,
yeah,
don't
it's
do
so
that again."
cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it invites people into like the songwriting process, I think, a
Yeah.
little bit more, because people don't. They just hear prim and polished, perfect music that comes
Exactly.
out. But if you hear the actual process that people are going through, just briefly, not for like the whole thing, just a little bit. That's
Yeah, it was kind of like a little gem, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of songwriting, what is your songwriting process like?
Well, I think it's similar to what we were just saying about the kind of congregational start with a melody, really, because that's the bit that's worked so well so far, which is the na 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 na, or the
Yeah.
one of the two. It's
just
starting
like
with
simple
something
melodies.
that's going to completely stay in your head. Keep
Yeah.
it really, really, really simple. Keep it simple.
And like one thing that I've learned from working with the Italians is like they almost represent like the European market and just global markets generally. There are certain words that people understand in English if they don't speak English. So if you keep it kind of like simple, and not super quick and da 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 da, I think it's easier for people outside of the UK and US and Australia, South Africa to understand, because they can latch on to like heaven or
Yeah.
words like that
It's actually really interesting.
universal words.
Yeah,
So like simple
simplicity.
melodies, simple lyrics, universal words. That's kind of our like
Yeah.
mantra.
Just
Yeah.
keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's nice with sort of everything in life, keep it simple.
Yeah.
So you guys have obviously worked incredibly hard. It's shown in what you've produced. But a lot of people, musicians, work you know, a lifetime and never achieve what you guys have achieved in a year. So what is your secret? Is there a secret other than hard work, I guess? I was with my publishers the other day, and they told me that 2 years ago I wrote 75 songs in the year, like finished, produced songs. Wow.
I think last year I did like over 100. So like when it's like, oh yeah, you know, you have one song that's gone really big, it's like, yeah, it's one of like hundreds of songs which exist. So it's almost like, you know, sometimes like what Ethan was saying, we're really super involved with like a bunch of young artists that we're helping kind of build up. And there's that thing where like they'll bring you a song, it's like, this is the song I've written. What do you mean the song?
The song, yeah.
Yeah, and they're super precious about when you want to change stuff, and it's like, no, like you need to write 100 songs and then pick the best one, and then, you know, and learn from each one and how to make it better. I guess there is no secret. You know, there's things aligning. Like I say, we believe it was blessed, but also just really hard work.
Yeah, and well, the work ethic. I think that it's not as much a secret, but you hear a lot of people talk about it. Once the work ethic is in place and something happens, you hit the ground running a lot more. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're already used to working when nothing's happening. So that most of our advice to not even younger people, just to other artists that we know is just start doing something. It doesn't really matter where you start. And even if the song's rubbish, just finish it, complete it, write a new one, write 4 songs, write 5. If you're not got a
finish
job,
stuff,
just write 5 songs in a week, just keep doing stuff. And if you've got the rhythm in place, if you have success, great. Even if you don't, you'll probably strike something along the way.
Yeah.
Because your work ethic's in place. And Josh is the predominant songwriter of us too, but last year there was no time for him to write. So a lot of it was just us working together and going, cool, we've just landed, we don't really feel like doing A, B and C.
We've got 3 hours.
To egg each other on to do stuff, because it's like everyone wants the success, and we try and make it as pretty as we possibly can on Instagram and stuff, but the reality of it is us two crammed in a hotel room for 7 hours trying to finish something when we really don't want to be there, and we're pretty sick of each other or whatever. So it's people ask for it, but it's one thing to try and sustain it when you have it as well.
Yeah.
I had a text from a friend who I hope you won't mind me saying, like we got married around the same time and we were engaged for the same period of time. And he used to spend like every evening with his now wife, and I was so bad. Like, luckily my wife's very understanding of like what I need to do to, you know, my process. But this guy was like, mate, you're spending too much time doing this. You need to like, you know, because I would be in the studio. Thankfully, we have an amazing space that we can use like 24 hours. But I would be in till like 3 or 4 a.m. every day. This is before Piece of Your Heart came out. And he texted me maybe like 2 months ago, and he was like, I just want to say I was wrong, congratulations. I was like,
cool.
Flip.
Yeah.
I think the Grammys taught me as well about this. Billie Eilish and her brother made all of their songs in their bedroom with not good equipment, and they won like every Grammy.
Cool.
Yeah. And you know, Piece of Your Heart, I had a MacBook Air at the time, and I don't even think I had a microphone. So like, there is no excuse now. You know, everybody has the same access to the same equipment. So it is just keeping going,
Yeah, it's that whole thing. There is no overnight success. It's the 10,000 hours you've put in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, if you could break the ice with anyone, past or present, who would it be and why? Dum dum dum.
John Lennon.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
I thought it was a joint thing.
Oh.
Oh, you can do it together. Yeah, you can do it together.
Oh, sorry.
Or you
yeah.
can have the separate ones.
I
Whatever.
don't know. Mine was gonna be Prince.
Yeah.
Why?
My
Why?
initial reaction was Prince, because I don't know. There's just not that many actual like interviews with him, and he's just wild, man. And there was like a tribute to him at the Grammys where we were, I'm like retrospectively, like, because I was a fan and my brother was a huge fan, so he always had like live concert DVDs of him and stuff, and I would always watch them. And since the tribute, I've like dove back in I just don't think there was too many people like him. Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
way
I
he was,
agree with
and the
you there.
stories that people would tell, like other celebrities tell stories about how like, he would do like weird stuff. And I think if we just went for dinner, I'd be like, mind
Yeah.
blown.
Yeah.
I'd just give him
Rest
a
in
guitar to
peace.
smash it.
Yeah,
Like,
just
"Please smash
just
this
sing
up."
to me.
Be nice with it.
Yeah, probably John Lennon
Yeah.
and Diplo. I mean, imagine that as a dinner.
Well,
John-
that would be a pretty crazy
Got to.
dinner, wouldn't it?
yeah, 2. There you go.
Oh, you could have said 3, 4, 5. There's no rules here, no rules.
We're like a huge Diplo fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, are
massive,
you?
massive.
Yeah, fangirls.
Yeah, fangirls.
I saw him at a party and I was too scared.
Oh, did you?
I
Yeah,
didn't even move. I just froze.
Don't
My whole
worry,
body
it's
froze.
the 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah,
You'll
literally.
get
Keep
there.
working with our
Yeah,
friends.
no,
Hopefully it'll be our friend.
it'll get there. It'll happen. You'll see. Guys, thank you so much for breaking the ice with us. Do one more cheers to 2020 and everything
2020.
that is coming your way, guys.
Thanks for having
Cheers.
and to break the ice.